was 2 years ago in particular when you guys got to Dallas and kind of were reflecting on everything that led to that. The non-conference results had a big influence on kind of setting the foundation for the year.
Yeah.
As you said, new people going through this in bigger roles. Games like yesterday, games like the Charlotte game, how much can that kind of set the foundation, and how much easier is that to emphasize when you can point to this is how it can play out?
So you're talking about the wins getting and pointing back to the success we've had, and when you get the non-conference?
Just like yesterday, kind of being those moments you can reflect on.
Yeah, I think I guess I'm not looking so much in that rearview mirror. We've been really looking forward.
Sure.
I just think what's more important is just that they can draw upon this for the next hard game and the next hard environment. I think we're just so new that I'm still not so sure, where we are or how exactly good we are yet. Yesterday was a really good win against a really good team. And so I do think, yes, if we continue stacking it, I think that'll help us keep getting more confident for now. And then you can maybe look and say, okay, that did prepare us. But I guess I've not used that the past. I'm really pretty much focused on the next,
Speaking of the next, how much time have you had in the last 12 hours to look at Kansas and look at the Pentagon?
Yeah, it's just the fastest turnaround for another really big game, another big venue. So really, I got on the bus at Drake and I ate a couple bites, and then I got the Kansas Scout. And so I got home and I did the brief. I had to run a couple errands at Target. So I got Sean Sullivan's little guy who turned 1 yesterday. So then I went home and I started watching a little film. And I'll look forward to watching more later. But I got enough in to know the Scout that was prepared. I think that venue is going to be cool. I've heard so much about it. I've seen it on TV, and I think it's going to be a really fun environment. And again, another raucous environment, and a good one in the sense that it's neither a home court advantage for either team, but it'll be different. And I think that can also, going back to your question, Dargan, help us, right? Is like we have Charlotte in our, we have that in this year. And Kansas, is a really, what I've seen, a really good opponent. They're coming in 4-0-2, I think. And they, have a really good guard, and number 12, Samaya Nichols, who was, someone we recruited, got a transfer from the big, got a transfer from North Dakota. This L. Evans is a really, really nice forward. And that's going to be different. Hannah, Stalky, and Tegan, their 4s are like 2s and 3s, and they haven't guarded that yet. Yesterday we guarded small ball, but the 4s, it was similar, really similar. But this particular 4 matchup, they put it on the floor a little bit more with ease, where Becker and Miller with Drake, they would put it on the, kind of that high-low. They could kill you with the 3, but their 4 players play a little bit more like small forwards. And so that's going to be a whole different matchup than what we've had. So I'll be interested to see how we answer that.
Defensively, how much confidence, I guess, has improved or been gained even since the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I think they do believe in their defense, and I think for the most part it is better. Yesterday, obviously, Dinnebeer had a tremendous game, but I think she's a tremendous player. And sometimes in emotional games and big environments, stars shine. And I feel like that series, there's been a lot of stars shine at different times. So I think a lot of that was Katie. And it wasn't just the fact, oh gosh, our defense wasn't that great. I think you got to give credit sometimes when a star is a star. So I have not had time to watch the Drake game. I shifted my focus to Kansas. So in my mind, I can think of a few things we did not do well. But I do think that after we slowed that first quarter against Drake, I think we steadied a bit. And I think we did a lot of nice things defensively. And the big thing is we handled and managed a lot of their runs. They had a run, and then we went pretty stealthy there for a while, and then we got a few buckets. So, yeah, I do think we're better, But again, now we get to see, and that's what's fun about a season. We get to see how we're going to match up against maybe more 4 guards, really.
Second time this year, Addie O'Grady's kind of put her stamp on the game. What are you seeing from her so far, and just the confidence she's playing with?
Yeah, I just feel a little, I mean, it's just such a nice progression. It's the old-fashioned progression, right? Again, we've talked about that. With the portal, you don't get to see that sometimes. You go where it can be better real quick. And it hasn't been an easy road for Addie. So for her, I think this summer she went with it, and then she got her shot, and she's just really picking up on that confidence and embracing being a go-to player. And I just think that's the best part. She's much more aggressive. She's just her mindset too, not just her, maybe a square up with the elbow or a finish. Her mindset, and I think that's, it's always the mind typically, but with Addie, that was always a big hurdle. So I'm really, really happy for her.
It seems like she's more comfortable, just even in this setting. I mean,
Yeah.
Is it more, is it confidence as a ball player, is it confidence as a person? I mean, it just seems like she's blossomed.
Yeah, well, I think Addie's an engineer major, and that is a hard discipline. And Addie will probably tell you she's also a perfectionist. So you're in a hard business, a hard discipline. You really want to do it well. And so she is going to do whatever it takes to get the A, right? Well, doing that is a lot of pressure on yourself that way, a lot of pressure to do it on the floor. And if I got it right, first year's really hard, second year, junior year ain't easy. And now you get to the senior year and you kind of see that light. And I think she's, done it as what she wanted to do. She's had some really great interviews. I think she just feels like she's got the future is right there, when it used to seem in both things so very difficult, only because, she was getting A's all the time, but that's a hard, everybody that has that, any kid I've coached, it's a different level of pressure. So I think she's in that senior year and life is going well. And I think that sense of urgency finally, instead of worrying about kind of where I am and will it ever happen, it's like, oh gosh, it's in my senior year. I got to do it. There's no next summer. And I think she finally realized it, and she just stopped thinking so much.
When did you see that click for her? Because you mentioned the center battle was pretty close up until even the exhibition. When did that click for her?
Well, it was so close, and they were both going to play. I just thought, well, we were talking about maybe who had the edge. But Addie's summer was different. I just thought she was much more confident. And then Ava has a lot of athleticism and coming in with a naivete. And so sometimes the naivete could win right before you're thinking so much. And then when Ava kind of missed some practice, Addie was getting every rep. There wasn't with that, the starter squad. And it was so close, I just think I got asked a question of who had the nod. But Addie didn't get sad or down. She just thought, okay. Because last year, if you remember, we started a different center up until, I think we studied with Hannah late in the non-conference. So I'd say Addie this summer looked really good. And then when she was just repping every practice for that 4 or 5 days, she just didn't look back.
This is going to seem like a really weird question, and if you say no to this, then
Yeah.
throw the whole thing out. Have you seen Mr. Holland's opus?
Who?
Mr. Holland's opus?
I have, yeah. A long
So-
time
so
ago.
there-
I was like, where's Mr. Holland's opus? Okay, yeah,
There
yeah.
was a scene in there.
Yeah.
It was early in the movie. There's a kid, actually kind of looked like Addie, who kept squeaking on the clarinet.
Okay.
And she finally figured it out. And I just, since it's been such
Yeah.
a long time, I didn't know.
Yeah.
if you
No,
noticed
I think
anything
that's
at
the
all with
case. I think Addie is also, remember she played with Lauren Betts. And, 6'7", right? So you're going and, everybody recruiting in the high school is, recruiting both of them, right? But Lauren was 6'7", had all of that. And so I think sometimes you could miss maybe what Addie was going to bring to the table. And I think Addie, she had so much going on because she's such a high-level academic kid that I feel like, getting her to stay the course. And she's very methodical. And she really, really I mean, just going for it sometimes. She likes an engineer. I want to know X, Y, Z before I act. And I think we had to meet in the middle. We had to meet in the middle with like, okay, here's a few facts and figures, but you gotta just play with this sometimes, right? And I think she hit that clarinet when it started to kind of sound good. She started to really go with it. And Randy Henderson, with a head coach, you can't be your position coaches, so she loves the post play as much as I do, and I think they've also had a great relationship too. So that's always awesome. And but I think that is a good analogy. You went way back. Was that was early '90s,
I think so.
wasn't it? Yeah, same.
We've,
Yeah.
we've seen Aaliyah go through warm-ups, last couple games. How close is she?
I think she's gets to do more today. I think we get to do a little bit more. Used to be just kind of walkthroughs with no defense. Now we get to add defense. We're starting to put the whole thing together. So I'm hopeful that I'd love to have some action by maybe Thanksgiving, but she's been looking really, really good. She's a nice player. Be nice to have her, because then Taylor Strimler won't have to back up the one. She can just focus on her, her 3 spot.
What's it take from a freshman who's not necessarily got the confidence of being instantly inserted into the starting lineup like Tegan hasn't, to take and make those 2 big threes in the final minute of the first half?
Tegan, shooter's going to shoot. That kid is, you guys watch Ted Lasso, right? You talk about being a goldfish. You need to watch Ted Lasso. I know you're young, but it's a good one. But she just is that beautiful type of shooter that she's not going to think about her misses. And she can really get rolling in that first half. I was kind of surprised that third one didn't go yesterday. I mean, when you see her, and everybody who recruited her, you've just seen her do that. And it's just like boom, 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 boom. And it just shifts the game. And she just has a level of confidence, but also just a really healthy mindset. She doesn't get too high, she doesn't get too low, and she's going to keep shooting and shooting. Kind of goes back to the old 6-on-6 mindset, Jeff.